2019, I mean, I did it for a while, but 2019, but I started questioning, like, like I was saying, why are these ECMs failing? And that started me down this like little rabbit hole of static pressure testing, things like that. I got turned on to um, um, Brian Orr's show. I'm brain farting right now. uh, yeah. It got turned on Brian Orr's podcast, and I started following him. And then he had Jim Bergman on there, and they had his people, and I started following all these different people, and I started watching their videos on YouTube religiously. Like, I went to one of Bergman's first train to trainer classes, and that he had for MeasureQuick. And I remember like everyone was introducing themselves, and what my introduction was like, yeah, and I watch a lot of this guy's videos. He's like, hey, my name's Jim Bergman. Everyone would laugh because that's like literally what he says in the beginning of every freaking video. So I just, just watching these guys and, Ty Branneman's videos and all these people's videos. And then, when I went to that train to trainer class anyways, Bergman was there with this little black thing. He's like, this thing's the greatest thing, the DG8. And he was just kind of talking about it. It was like 3 years ago. And I remember he took us walking around the TrueTech labs, and he showed us some flow plates and things like that. And I just remember him talking about it. And I don't remember what set me off to get it, but I just started like learning about it or looking into it. And I'm like, well, if this thing's all it's cracked up to be, it's pretty wicked, and I bought it. And I was scared. It was a lot of money. But I do not regret it. That is by far my most favorite tool. But anyways. Yeah.
What you just heard Kieffer describe was himself stumbling across the DG8 manometer and this Digital TrueFlow Grid. And obviously he's having success with it. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you to hear something else. During this interview, he shared with me what his retrofit sales were like before he had the Digital TrueFlow Grid. And I asked him, I said, hey man, do you want me to cut this out? And he thought for a minute and he said, no. He said, leave it in, which surprised me, but it just shows you what his character's like. And I want you to hear
that. The truth, no, you can put this in there. That's 100% fine. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. That's the honest truth. I didn't know. The TrueFlow Grid has taught me so. If any tool I've ever owned, this tool has made me better than any other tool I've ever owned. Just because I had those failures, I learned from them. It taught me so much about the trade and airflow, and so bad. That's how they went before the TrueFlow is just. I mean, I didn't know it then. I thought it was the best, but.
Okay, so bad. But there's one thing I've learned about HVAC. In HVAC, there's a lot of gray area. What does that mean exactly? So I asked Kieffer, what kind of problems are you dealing with? Water carryover, dead compressor? Like when you say bad, how bad is bad?
No, I didn't have much water carryover problems. They weren't terrible, like pressures. They just weren't as good as they could be. So, and I was taught some bad habits in the past, if the furnace is running too hot, turn the gas pressure down, things like that instead of right sizing, but yeah, so.
A technician telling you his faults? One word comes to mind, rare. And I mean that in a good way. Now let's switch gears. Kieffer finds himself using the forecasting feature in TrueFlow, which is new. Now, he deploys it on this client's home. In the first snapshot, looking at the data, we can see this is the test in. There's a few issues, not the end of the world bad, but there's some things that could be fixed. He deploys forecasting. You'll see it in the second snapshot here. Those blue dials is what Kieffer had selected to run at for the next system. We haven't put a new system in yet. He takes that data, he picks out his new equipment, he installs it. He puts that system in, and then he tests it. This third screenshot, that's the test out data, which looks amazing. So of course you're gonna have a happy client, but you know what? Let's hear Kieffer's experience with that.
I started recommended doing TrueFlow Grid testing, things like load calculations and things like that. He was on board at first with just the TrueFlow Grid test. But once he started seeing what I was doing, the light bulbs really went off for him because he's familiar with the pressure probes and things like that from what he does. So like we really clicked. So I did the initial TrueFlow Grid test. Then we did a load calculation of the home. And then once I got that, then I came home, and that's when I used forecasting to basically help me select my filtration coil selection. I oversized. It was still an AHRI match, but I selected the largest possible coil that was a match, because that's something I've been discovering is if you just say, "Hey, give me your 2-ton coil," a lot of times those are really restrictive. I've noticed that with a lot of the testing I've done. So I try, but then I use forecasting to basically put those numbers in there and see where it'd be. And it kind of blew me away. At first I was like, yeah, right. I didn't, it just says like, this number looks really good. But then we put it in, and the second, we turn the unit on, I know my airflow is set right. It was a variable speed. I'm still going to test it. But when I turn it on, I hear that unit. Well, I don't hear that unit. It's so quiet. And I'm like, holy cow. And then I start testing it. And I remember as I started putting my probes in, taking the tests, I was like, holy crap. It's like, this is awesome. Just how low the pressures were on that. And then I, did my heating testing, and that turned out phenomenal. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was really excited about that job.
Who wouldn't be excited? Happy client, confidence backed up by data. This is what HVAC is supposed to look like.